It was like they harped on the real thing of like it means no worries. So it's like, listen, do what you want.
But the thing is, that meant like be carefree. He was trying to do nothing at all.
He was living his best.
I guess
he was having a hot boy summer.
He was having a hot.
He's having a hot boy summer.
Cat summer.
I'm crying.
Nah, he was wilding. What's up, guys? Court here, and
Jahari White.
Yep, that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah. Oh.
You don't have your nickname for your channel?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Hey, beautiful people, it's your boy Ja, back again with another video.
That's really your thing?
Yeah.
It's been so long since you put up a video.
I know. It's been
you know I'll watch it, Joyce. Come on. So we're here to do a review, commentary on The Lion King 2019, because he saw it a couple days ago. I just saw it today with my performing arts visual humanities kids. This review / commentary is going to be very interesting because we have two polar opposite lovers of the film right now. I assume he loves the film.
I wouldn't say love,
okay,
but I did really enjoy it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not a lot of films that I absolutely love, but I did really enjoy the film for what it was.
All his subscribers and fans, A Star Is Born is one of those films.
Yes, I love that movie. That was a great movie.
Rightfully so. It's one of my favorite films of all time, too.
I've seen it 3 times in the movie theater.
I've only seen it once, and I can't do it again. I love sad movies, but I can only watch them but so many times. So, me on the other hand, I didn't dislike the film. I just was disappointed by what it was.
Okay, why were you disappointed? Or what specifically were you disappointed in?
A couple things, and that's exactly what we're going to topic it by. So we're going to split. I'm going to split this into two different things about how we're going to attack this. We're going to attack the visual, in terms of looks, choreography, execution, and then we're going to talk audio, which will encompass vocal performance, singing, music, stuff like that.
Okay,
cool enough.
That's cool. Let's start with the promotion. Because they actually did a lot of that.
So what I'm gonna say is, at least from my point of view, promotion wise, it was great. To be honest, I felt like promotion first started once Jungle Book dropped.
Yeah.
Because if y'all don't know, Jon Favreau directs both movies. He's best known right now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Happy Hogan, Tony Stark's caretaker, now Peter Parker's caretaker. And Jon Favreau is a fantastic director. As you see, the MCU exists because of him.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, he made The Jungle Book, he made The Lion King. He's making moves, and he's a very creative person.
Yeah.
When he made Jungle Book, absolutely gorgeous. Him and all of our close friends will tell you this is one of my top favorite movies of all time.
I actually did not see that movie.
I thought you saw it.
No, I can't
really
comment on that movie particularly, but I didn't see it. I'd seen the previews, like the promotion for it, but I didn't see it in the theaters and I haven't watched it yet.
So I feel like the promotion for Lion King started once Jungle Book came out, because Jungle Book is, I don't know how to say it, it's like once they dropped it, you kind of knew Favreau, the way he did Jungle Book, you knew that if they were going to redo Lion King, he would be the one to do it.
Yeah.
So by the end of 2016, when they announced Lion King was going to happen with him at the helm of it, I was already, I put all my faith in him. I was fully blindly trusting. I was like, it's going to be great. He'll have the right people. Because the cast for Jungle Book, out of this world. That's my personal part of the marketing. You can go ahead with yours.
Yeah, I thought they did really good when they released who was going to play most of the main characters and stuff in the film. That was obviously a big thing that I thought drove the movie.
Of course.
Essentially, obviously that's with anything. If it's a star-studded cast, or if it's a really powerhouse actor or actress that we know or a lot of people know, that's what really drives the film. and also how they actually market it. Like for the Hunger Games, they did it like very suspiciously, very like really, really short, ominous thing. So it made you like, they didn't give away too much of the film, really. At least not for the first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact.
After that, they did different. But
one of the things that was really smart, I forgot whether it was for Catching Fire or one of the two Mockingjays. I loved how, if you're a Hunger Games fan, you know, the Capitol, the civilians of the Capitol, they're very aesthetic based. And I loved for whichever one of the last 3 movies promotions, they had the makeup line.
Yeah.
So that's a really good idea of smart marketing.
Yep.
You know?
Definitely. So yeah, The Lion King definitely told the cast and everything, so everyone was hyped for it. And obviously, all the people who are fans of Gambino or Beyonce were already going to see the movie. Period.
Exactly.
That's you know what I mean? Once you hear that they're in it, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to see it. But yeah, I thought it was really good. The visuals I knew were going to be great because from seeing the previews of The Jungle Book, I was like, this looks crazy. And hearing that it was the same director and everything, awesome. So I thought they definitely did good. Disney always does good on promoting. That's that was a given kind of, but yeah, so that was basically, I thought they did really good on promoting the movie.
Okay. The second visual segment I want to touch on is execution in terms of how the animals look versus how they looked in the 90s.
Right.
You can leave this one off first.
Well, one thing that people have to remember that is a live action remake. And with a live action remake, even though it's still an animated film technically, and it was based on an animated film, it's going to be more realistic. They're trying to make it more realistic, especially with the advent of the amount of technology that we have today.
Very true.
They tried to make it as realistic to animals as possible. So I think a lot of people had this misconception that it was still an animated movie in the sense of like Pixar. You know what I mean? Like where it's supposed to show a lot of facial expressions and stuff, and that's not what real animals necessarily do. You know what I mean? So knowing that it's a live action type of thing where they're trying to be realistic was fine with how the facial expressions were, because I felt like it looked like the animals. Okay. You know what I mean? And like you can see the hairs and everything. Like it was really like
you can see the
detailed. Like it's crazy that it was made on a computer.
On a computer.
I'm still mind blown at that.
I agree with you. It definitely. That was one of the, like I said, is one of the big highlights as to why I was so ramped coming from Jungle Book to go see this. It looked so real, looked so great. The one thing so here's where the decline starts to happen for me. And the funniest thing is, it isn't just this. I feel like this has been happening since Maleficent. The hardcore Disney film fans have been saying that Disney is doing its franchises a disservice by remaking them as live action. And for a while, I could never really understand that because I was just like, it offers a fresh take for people that never saw the originals or can't relate to the originals. Now I can kind of understand because, and the first thing that really got me with it was Aladdin, because people keep saying, the people that defend the original keep saying that you can do, animation has a specific purpose. It's meant to do things that you can't do in real life.
That is true.
And it's meant to be, as you said with this, it's meant to be visually pleasing. I don't think that's a fault of live action in and of itself. I think it's a fault on how scared the directors are that people will like their vision.
Yeah, but that,
you know, and that's a regular fear. But my thing is, yes, the whole purpose of Lion King was to be more realistic. Why couldn't we get a bit more emotions out of their faces? That's where I kind of think Lion King fell short visually. Not in the sense of pronunciation, just how they conveyed those emotions, you know? Okay. But again, I understand. When you're trying to make it as realistic as possible, there's only but so much you can do. Choreography and how the environment as a whole moves
together, yeah. Like I said before, I thought, like, based on like it being a realistic interpretation of the animated film, it flowed very well. You know what I mean? I thought that the way that the shots and everything went.
Yeah.
If you want to call them shots,
No, yeah.
I guess.
I'll call them shots.
I thought that it was good. You know, it was like a lot of continuity in the scenes and everything, and the cut scenes, you know, made sense and they were fine and everything.
Very true.
The environment flowed like it was real. Like the leaves were moving, you know, the water was moving. It didn't look pixelated.
No, not at all.
You know, I think that's the thing. Like, everyone is gonna have personal things that they look for, obviously, in anything. But it's important to look objectively at things sometimes. You know what I mean? Because in like animated, like real animated films, yeah, it's more whimsical and magical and all that type of stuff. But to me, this realistic interpretation is just as whimsical and magical, because I'm like, how is that possible that this is made on a computer? That this is still an animated film?
The spectacle is what gets you.
That's what's like, whoa.
And I understand that. And it's funny because I was talking to Jonathan about it. He says, which I found interesting, because I can understand where he's coming from. He said that the whole circle of life metaphor, he said that now watching it live action, it became that much more
full
clear
circle,
for him.
yeah.
And I was like, wow, like, you know, because it's like, I understand, you know, and I see why people find this a gripe, because it makes it feel like animation gets underestimated, but it does make that difference that you seeing these, because it's like, you can look at an animated ant and be like, oh, well, yeah, I'm hearing you, but I'm not, as he said, I'm hearing you, but I'm not getting you.
But the thing is, it's still animation.
It's still animation, but it's like...
It's just a different type of animation.
It's because it looks more real for people, you know?
But that's the thing, like, animation is evolving. And that's the
true.
thing, like he's saying that it becomes, because it's full circle. The animation, we started with animation that was like freaking done on pieces of paper.
Piece of cell shading.
And you know what I mean?
What?
Then we had like claymation and CGI and all these type of things. Like, animation is still evolving and it's constantly evolving. So it's just a different form of that thing. And that's something that's people aren't used to per se, because live action is still really, really new. I think my thing with this movie that I think I connected with more is the fact that you have to look at the time that we're in and like, why did this movie come out now? You know what I mean? Like, why? I feel like everything literally happens for a reason. They decided to make it a live action remake. Obviously, they weren't just gonna make another animated reboot.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, they weren't gonna just.
Why would they do that?
You know, they could, because I mean, like, SpongeBob has better quality stuff now.
Monsters University.
But like, it's realistic. People are able to relate to the stuff. Like, the themes of The Lion King are personal things.
They are. They're very personal.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the circle of life, and that everything is connected, everything is bigger than us, and that's something that's so important now, and people are so active in fighting for their rights and standing up for all these things, and it's like, you have a destiny that's beyond you, and sometimes we run from our problems and do all these things. So it's like, seeing this like a real lion and knowing your history and and like all that stuff, this is literally kind of what happens. Like, you ever think about, like, what do animals do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the lion is the king of the jungle, even though it's not really a jungle. The savannah, you know what I mean? Like, the king of the plains, and they have that authority and that pride and everything, and they have to, the male lion or whatever has to protect the rest of his pride or whatever, and the females, they have their specific role and all that type of stuff. It's literally a reflection of human life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's like, this is so cool, because it's so realistic, and I feel connected to this realistic thing. Like, you can feel connected to an animated thing too. I've watched a lot of cartoons, but it's different. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's one of the things. That's why I kept.
It's almost like a documentary.
It is. It's like for it to come out again in this day and age. It was a very perfect timing. It was a very perfect timing. That was I definitely agree. Not too much else. Oh, only because I won't get to address it in audio, because it'll be kind of weird if I did address it in audio. I don't know who was in charge of designing Scar and who was in charge of designing Pumbaa, but y'all did them dirt. Y'all did them grimy.
I'm crying.
I had to look at it, it's one thing in the animated movie, you just know Scar and Mufasa are brothers. But looking at Scar all decrepit and walking and, you know, he's missing some hair, and then you want to talk about, I got the brain side of the gene pool, but this brute strength went to my big brother. I'm like, he's the older one? Yikes. Then I don't know, you probably need to get out of Africa and go to like Manila.
Well, that's the thing. Mufasa beat him before.
But like,
that's how he got the scar. He tried him.
In his eye.
Yeah.
In his eye.
Fuck outta here.
That was really crazy. I like how they now changed the story to that's how he got the scar. That's pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Don't try him.
And you know what's funny?
Period.
Won't even hold you. Just because it was petty revenge, I liked that instead of, you know, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, it's gonna be, I forgot to put
You
the
should have
title.
seen the movie by now.
You should have seen the movie. You know what? Actually, not even spoilers. We're gonna put this out like a week from now, so that way everyone has the time to go see it. You good?
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie horse.
No, my Achilles just decided to kill me.
It's
fine.
I loved how instead of the regular flings him off the cliff, he scratched him in the eye.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was just like, you know, you did it to me, now I got you. And yeah, Pumbaa, I don't know. Cause you know what's funny? In the Hakuna Matata flashback, I was like, that could not be baby Pumbaa. Because why does he look like this now?
He was cute.
He's not cute now?
Well, no. The warthogs are not cute. If you've ever seen them in real life.
But why do they grow like that?
That's just how it is.
No,
it's realistic.
We got it. Yo, Sarah McLachlan, you gotta stop doing for dogs.
Speaking of Mufasa's death, a lot of people was expecting to see him literally get trampled by the wildebeest.
You're stupid.
Like, it's still a kid's movie, quote unquote.
To be honest, think about it. It's what you don't see. It's what's left up to the imagination that's the scariest.
Exactly.
So, you know?
Because you're like, did he die from the fall or did he die from actually getting trampled?
Like, you know?
But they're not going to show like blood and gore and holes in his face.
It's PG,
like, come
bro.
on.
I'm surprised it wasn't rated G.
Because then I would have been like, whoa, like I don't want to see that.
Facts.
I don't want to see that.
That's not what I'm here for, bro. I'm here for a good time.
Right, that's it.
Here's where a lot of my gripes are. So let's get into the audio. You could pick the 3 topics.
Okay, well, you can start with casting.
Casting.
Because that's the basis of the audio.
Of the audio. That's true. That's tracks.
And
that's
then how the cast interpreted the performance of the character.
And then the soundtrack.
And then the soundtrack that was in the movie.
Okay.
That accompanied the movie itself.
I'm going to talk about The Gift in a specific way.
Because that's not the soundtrack to The Lion King, for clarification.
No. It's not.
Okay? Because a lot of people don't know that.
People are trying to come at Beyonce for it. I come at Beyonce for it for a different reason, but don't come at her in the sense that it's not. Don't come at it in the sense that, oh, this is what she made for the movie. It's not. You know, I do, as much as I'll say this from now, disclose it. I just said it to him. I do feel it was a cash grab, but he definitely put it to me that she is a businesswoman, and at the end of the day, she's an entertainer. So of course, it's gonna be for a cash grab. That's that. I don't think she's here like, I'm going to use the Lion King to further climb the status.
No,
that's
she
not
doesn't need that, first of all.
That's a fact. So. Alright, so casting-wise, no problems. A-list. Donald Glover.
Okay, see, my thing was, now I'm going to speak about both Beyonce and Gambino, because I consider them actors and actresses, but not really. If that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be interesting.
I always say that Beyonce isn't the best actress. I say that, and I'm a Beyonce fan. But I can call a spade when I need to. I think her best role was Cadillac Records, and Dreamgirls, she played the part very well. But as a whole, I don't think she's the best actress. But I think this was just a voice, but people think like, oh, anyone can just do a voice. No.
When you're in a vocal booth, you're limited in the sense that what that face is showing on the screen is what you have to get across.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And you don't even know how, because the graphics come after. Way, like months after the voice and stuff is recorded.
So, okay, so then in that case, why do you feel like they're actors / actresses, but not really?
So, well, let me not say that. I'm not going to discredit that. But I was saying that that's not their, like, main thing.
That's
like, they're musicians. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, they're musicians.
They're musicians.
They're actors second. They're musicians who can act. You know what I mean? Like, there's, and, like, if you ever audition for something, you like it's either you're a dancer that can sing or a singer that can dance. You know what I mean? That's your main thing, and then you happen to be able to do the other thing.
But and you know that's the weirdest thing, because then I wouldn't know. I personally wouldn't know where to put Gambino.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna get to.
Go ahead.
For me, but he's different because he's just an artist. But Beyonce is a musician. You know what I mean?
That's
Who
fair.
Acts.
That's fair.
But in that respect, that's why it's like sometimes hard for me to like. Well, she doesn't do a lot of acting, but like when she's in certain things, I'm like, because I see her and she has such a thick accent, that Texan accent. You know what I mean? It's like slight, but she sounds black as hell. You know what I mean?
You know, it's one of those things, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if she's had a lot of like training in acting. Per se. Certain parts I feel like, okay, she's Nala right now.
I feel like, no.
Other parts I'm like,
definitely.
damn, that's Beyonce. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's hard to look past that. And I'm a fan, so it's nothing, but like I said, I am very honest and true. And not say that it was bad, because I feel like she did what she could do. You know what I mean? Given the circumstances that she's not an actress.
Being fair, I do feel like some of that came down to the writing, because there were certain changes that were made. You know, with like, it was cool. And again, I felt like in this day and age, I want to call this the pander era, because you have to be successful now. You have to pander to people. So you know, I understand, and it wasn't to say that they shouldn't have done this, but the whole thing with Nala motivating the lionesses, and you know, it's like, you gotta stand up. Are you with me, lions? And I was just like, that's cool, but that was super corny. You know, it was like
all I heard was, okay, ladies, now let's get information.
Because you know it's Beyonce.
That's what I'm saying. That's what, in that moment, I was like,
it was good.
It could have been different if it was somebody else.
Somebody else,
but
even if the delivery
Beyonce,
was different.
Yeah,
you know.
But this is personal. You're probably gonna be like, ugh. But
go ahead.
Gambino, his voice was too light for Simba for me.
You know what it was?
It's too like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was. No, I agree.
Because he's older now, and I feel like he sounded like teenage.
Yeah.
Simba, and he's like a man,
and he's very capable of like,
you know what I mean?
Doing it. Again, I feel like that came down to the writing and what they demanded from him.
Yeah. Because
my thing was, one thing I really felt they did to Simba in this one. Here's my thing. What was so good about The Lion King, like the story in general, I really realized it as I kept watching it throughout the years. You're not supposed to like Simba for a good amount of the story.
Yeah.
He's
run away from his responsibilities.
He's an ignorant kid who, granted, this is what the adults at the time told him, was told to run away from his problems, and grew up thinking that's the way to go. Run away from the problems. Why do I have to face it? In this interpretation, it kind of felt that he was also taught not necessarily to run away from your problems. Why bother? Just be lazy. And that made me really almost hate him in this movie. I was like, now it's just, because that whole like, oh yeah, and now today, you know, that's why I was going to actually make a life plan today. So what's your life plan? I'm going to do nothing. And I was like, what? Now for all intents and purposes, I was fully with Beyonce. I'm like, yo, get out of the jungle. Leave him behind, bro. He's
I guess because it was like they harped on the real thing of like, it means no worries. So it's like, listen, do what you want.
But the thing is, that meant like be carefree. He was trying to do nothing at all.
He was living his best.
I guess.
He was having a hot boy summer.
He was having a hot boy summer. Cat summer.
I'm crying.
Nah, he was wilding. Should I start with the good or the bad?
Start with whatever. Start with.
I want to start with the good.
Okay.
Because
I was gonna say start with the bad. Because you should always end on a good note. Just whatever. Do what you want.
Okay. You'll see why. You'll see why I'm gonna do it like this. All right. So good performances. By far, my favorite moments of the movie were the three hyenas and Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
And here's the funniest thing.
Are my nipples out?
This one's rated R, ladies and gentlemen. It was never stated. I never said it myself, but I always had this inner feeling that Shenzi, Whoopi Goldberg's original character, her character was going to be completely different in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of always had this feeling that it was going to be. I didn't think Keegan-Michael Key's character was going to be the I'm always annoyed and uptight hyena.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be what Eric Andre was.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, Eric Andre's in the movie, so he's going to be a nutcase.
Yeah.
Shenzi in this movie was one of the best performances. What?
Very good.
That whole sequence was just, oh, you talking about that King Lion guy that tells everybody what to do? Mufasa is not the boss of me. And I was like, oh.
Do you know who played her?
What's her name? Florence Kasumba, right?
Yeah, she played Ayo, right? In the Black Panther, I believe. The bald one that was supposed to be lesbian lover. I think that was her. Yeah.
Nah, Florence Kasumba, she did her thing. A1, loved it. Keegan-Michael Key, love him, regardless. Him and Jordan Peele are great.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Andre gets typecasted, but he always is great as typecast.
Yeah.
Alright. Timon and Pumbaa. Before I even break into like the performance, you know what I should have said for the cast?
What?
Looking at the synergy Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen had, I'm very surprised that as a cash grab, they already had Beyonce. I'm surprised they didn't score Seth Rogen and James Franco. I could see James Franco doing it just because it's him and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But I understood why they went with Billy Eichner in the first place. Seth Rogen is Seth Rogen. Pumbaa is Seth Rogen, but Seth Rogen is Pumbaa.
I thought he did a really good job.
No, he did a really good job.
His laugh is perfect for Pumbaa.
His laugh, they didn't use it as much.
They didn't use it as much, but
and they should have.
That one part,
yes,
it's like
it was really great. It was meant to happen.
His laugh is so funny.
Billy Eichner is a comedian.
Yeah. What
stunned me is how shockingly great of a singer he is. Because I was like Hakuna Matata was already like, I was like, whoa, that was like a note, but you know, luck is luck. When they was doing In the Jungle and Mas was like, in the jungle tonight, I was like, what?
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Oh, I was like, who is this man?
Yeah, they did that.
He's a beast. I don't know if he dropped any types of albums, but I'm buying them.
That's what I'm saying. Soundtrack was on. I thought the soundtrack was great.
With the whole Childish Gambino, his voice being too light for it, here's where my problems were. One, first disappointment, and I can't even say it was a disappointment because I'm going to be fair to him, James Earl Jones. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's because he's getting older. Mm-hmm. He didn't, originally, I'm going into that movie expecting I already seen Mufasa die when I was 3. I'm going to cry again. I didn't. Because the performance from neither him nor Chiwetel Ejiofor gave me anything. It was like, I kind of felt like, and it's, again, no shade to James, I kind of felt like he was just reading lines, to be honest. And that's not to insult him, but if I'm being completely honest, I would have taken the ADR from the original movie and threw it in this one.
Scar! Brother, help me!
Long live the king.
it got me so upset when he's looking at Scar. Scar, help me.
No, yeah, that part was like.
You know, when you look at that original, we're gonna put the clip in there. Yeah, brother, help me. I was like, that's Darth Vader right there.
No,
but
yeah.
and then again, alright. I'm gonna halfway blame Chiwetel, and I'm gonna halfway blame the writers of the movie, because I did not like this interpretation of Scar. And Scar is my favorite character from The Lion King because I'm the bad guy.
Inserts Billie Eilish clip.
She believed he lied. No, Scar is one of those villains that he didn't really necessarily need a motive. I felt like he just did what he did because he could do it. Of course he was jealous, he wanted the throne, but that was it. This movie, they tried to have him get with Sarabi.
But that's kind of what it was, though.
Not in the original. He just wanted the clout. He just wanted to he didn't even care about the lionesses. He just said, he literally just wanted...
But, okay, so
king.
I felt like this interpretation was a mix of the animated one and the stage play. Because in the stage play, he does try to get with Sarabi. He's like,
he does?
Yeah, he's like, you could have been my queen.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Wow. They've been changing stuff in that play, okay? They have Frozen jokes now. Frozen jokes. I might look at the lens. Frozen jokes.
Yeah.
He's gonna leave that there. This part worked in Jungle Book. When Baloo was talking bare necessities, like in a metaphor kind of way, and then they kind of did like, ha, 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 ha. It's like a little playful thing because Mowgli's learning the metaphor too. That was cool. But when Scar spoke, be prepared in this one, I felt like people were telling me they took the song out. I kind of wish they just took the song out as a whole now. Because Be Prepared is Scar's one song, and it's one of the best It's one of the best Disney numbers in Disney.
It's a good one. I like it in the play, though.
I don't like it now in the play, because that dubstep thing that we saw when we took the kids.
That was...
I was like, oh. Nah, but if y'all singing that, be prepared. They got the highest like, ding, 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 ding. I was like, okay, and he's regal. Again, come back to the visual. Y'all did Scar wrong, but I didn't get regal. And you know what it is? Chiwetel plays characters that rose from the bottom. Scar originally is a character that's always been at the top. He just never had the top spot. So that's where it kind of like got the. As you said, there were a lot of moments where Beyonce just played Beyonce.
She sounded like Beyonce.
It was just Beyonce.
But
and,
again, it is what it is.
It is what it is. You know, they didn't. I felt if they really wanted to, they could have gotten way better performances.
With the emotion of like the inflection of the voices and certain things, that's what I felt could have been better as a whole. For a lot of the cast.
I love her again. It sucks that they have.
I thought Zazu was great, and the kids. We didn't talk about the kids.
Now, you know what's dumb funny? You know what's so funny? He was the person I absolutely despise the most, because you know what's hilarious? Zazu is shade. Zazu's annoying because he's the royal dodo, but you're entertained by him because he's always tossing shade. I always wanted him to get off the screen when he got there.
Whoa!
Did I tell you about my cousin who was a woodpecker? Who thought it was a woodpecker? I was like, bro, leave. What are you doing?
I liked him. I thought that he did great.
Yeah,
that was funny.
No shade. Is that John Oliver? No shade to John Oliver. That's who played him. But the kids, J.D. McCrary gave me such JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas vibes. Yes, I loved it. He brought back that Simba.
Yes.
JD messed up though. And it's not in the performance, it's in the last segment that we're gonna get to. But JD messed up. Jahari, I didn't know Jahari could sing.
She played her on Broadway.
I did hear that. They were telling me that on the.
She took a lot of the things that she like learned from that
and brought it here.
You know, and brought it here.
Of course, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Other performances. That's pretty much it. Rafiki did Rafiki. And yeah, Alfred Woodard, again, it sucks that they have such A-list names because now I feel like I'm kind of critiquing their whole career.
Yeah.
But you could ask him. I've been saying to him, I don't know how I felt about Alfred Woodard playing Sarabi.
Mm-hmm.
They should have had Angela Bassett come back in with a Black Panther accent and play Sarabi. Because the thing is, like, that whole scene, again, one line can make such a difference. That whole scene with, you know, I'm gonna do, like, the remake, bro. Tell him how you killed him. Yeah, it was kind of my fault. Oh, you see, he admits it. Murderer. And then Sarabi. Murderer. And then Alfred Woodard Sarabi. It's not true. Tell me it's not true. Versus the original.
Well, Simba, now's your chance to tell them. Tell them who is responsible for Mufasa's death.
I am.
It's not true. Tell me it's not true.
It's true.
You see, he admits it. Murderer.
No, it was an accident.
They brought none of that energy, bro.
Yeah.
It was so. A lot of the moments just felt awkward.
It felt like the actors or actresses
are acting.
You know what I mean? That's
acting.
the thing. That's where I can see where people are coming from. They're like, ah.
And that's why I say it and the visuals are a problem. Because when you go back to Jungle Book, there are, again, these animals don't make crazy faces in Jungle Book. But when you hear Ben Kingsley as Bagheera and he loses Mowgli!
Run, Mowgli! Bears don't hibernate in a jungle. If you can't learn to run with the pack, one of these days you'll be someone's dinner.
And you hear like Idris as Shere Khan, he's like, oh, we're in the presence of a man cub.
I can't help but notice there's this strange odor today. What is it? This scent that I'm on. I almost think it was some kind of man cub.
They were trying. They were
the
going
inflection of the voice. It's like how you know what I mean. That's so.
But to be fair, you know what I think it was too. They did have a lot of foreign actors on Jungle Book.
Yeah,
they had Idris. They had Lupita. They had Ben. A lot of British people.
That's spice.
It just this is a spicy.
It's a spicy meatball.
It's a spicy meatball. Primo Italiano. Right? Go ahead, instrumentation.
Yeah, I thought the instrumentation was really good. It fit for the vibe that was going on, the intensity or the,
It gave very ethnic, you know.
Whatever. When it was supposed to be light, it was light. It was
light.
good. Hans Zimmer, right?
That was Hans Zimmer?
Yeah.
Oh, Hans.
Hans Zimmer and Elton John. Obviously, Elton John wrote a lot of the.
Oh yeah, he wrote that whole soundtrack.
So.
Oh, Hans.
Period, Pooh.
I have such an amazing relationship with Hans Zimmer. He's like the one, other than Danny Elfman, he's like the one film musician that I really follow because he knows how to make a scene.
Oh yeah, he knows how to write score, do all that.
I felt like and I feel like it was for nostalgia, but they've reused a lot of the momentary tracks, like dun 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 dun. I could have sworn I heard that at least 10 times, and I didn't want to hear it that much.
Yeah.
But I said it is one of the central themes of the movie.
Yeah.
Here's my second biggest gripe, where it comes to the whole movie as a whole. We already talked about the voice performances, right? I don't understand why so much more effort was put into the soundtrack. But here's the thing. I understand it's a musical, and the music of The Lion King is what makes it The Lion King. But here's what I mean by so much more effort was put into the soundtrack. So much more ear candy was put into the soundtrack. Not enough emotion. I didn't feel emotion behind those performances. I just Can't Wait to Be King is one of my favorite songs of all time. And J.D. McCrary slayed, because it's J.D. McCrary. We know he could sing. He did too much. I'm so sorry. I just can't wait to be king. I'm like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to, because back in the original, the kid that played Simba's singing voice, because back then we had the actor and the singer. He made you believe it. Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
You've rather a long way to go, young master, if you think.
He was feeling it. He wasn't trying to he wasn't trying to get in the studio and get with Drake, Like, he wasn't. Yeah. And she would tell, as much as I didn't like him speaking Be Prepared, he did give the most emotionally charged performance in a song. Mm-hmm. Hakuna Matata. Okay, here's why I can't judge Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen. They're made to be clowns. Yeah. So if they slay the performance, I'm gonna be blown away. If they don't slay the performance, again, they're supposed to be clowns. So they sit in that region of it's good no matter what they do. Mm-hmm.
For those characters.
For those characters. I've been saying to him that I thought with that teaser of Can You Feel the Love Tonight that Beyonce was doing too much. And she was. That was one of the moments where I was hearing Beyonce. I was not hearing Nala. Mm-hmm. And Donald shocked me. Well, Donald's been improving on his singing voice. But he shocked me hitting his high notes in Hakuna Matata and hitting his notes in his runs in Can You Feel the Love Tonight. But again, that was not necessary. I give it to him in Hakuna Matata because, yes, originally Simba had that one. I give him that. But otherwise, no. I felt like they focused on making the soundtrack pretty more than emotional.
See, for me, I feel different because when I'm thinking of a soundtrack, it's supposed to be like, I don't know, like if it's musical, I want to be musically like shocked.
Entertained.
You know what I mean? Like musically entertained, and like that's the thing. Same thing for like the national anthem. Mm-hmm. Some people are like classic people where they just want to hear sung straight. That's it. Clear Other cut. People are like, whoa, I want to hear somebody spice it up and make it their own.
I feel that.
And like I said, you have musicians in those instances. So Beyonce is gonna. That's where she shines.
That's very true.
She's gonna do her thing there. You know what I mean? And I expect her to do this thing. For me, I didn't think it was too much. She just has a very powerful voice. That's just what she is. Mm-hmm. Period. She's a powerhouse.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? And JT or JD, whatever, wasn't JD? JD McCrary, he has a really good voice. So you're going to use it. Like, you know where your strengths are. To me, like, if you can't do it, you're not going to do it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I don't know. That's just me personally. I like a little spice. I like to be like, oh, yes, you better hit that riff. You better hit that note. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, that's just what I like personally. Some people like it more classic.
I felt like it was just, can you hit a run right there? Hit that run. But
okay. To challenge you on that.
Okay.
In the Can You Feel the Love Tonight, that one is kind of like I'm trying to express all of me, and for Beyonce, interpreting the character, that's like this is all of me. This is what I want to show you all of me. This is what I can do. I'm gonna hit these runs. I'm gonna riff all over you because I love you so much, and I want to convince you. Blah blah blah. I want to make you be like, wow, she's for me. I'm for you. Let's go. That's what she does, and
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
I feel that, but it's like
I don't know.
I feel like it's a very strange.
He's a classical type of person.
I'm not a classical type of person because you know what it is. Don't just sing it straight. Because when you sing it with emotion, you're not singing it straight.
That's true.
It's just
you just didn't want it to be.
It's like, and I know all you stands out there, especially our friend Jameer Amorphous Davis. He's definitely gonna appreciate me for saying this, but I keep using her as an example because she's the easiest example and biggest example of what it is. Aaliyah is a person that always gave a track what it needed, nothing less, nothing more. And it's a very difficult art, I will give you that, because you have to understand what you'd want to hear, what somebody else would want to hear, and what you want to leave people with wanting more. Mm-hmm. That's a very hard balance to find.
That is true.
But I feel like for Beyonce, there's so many examples where she's done that, and she should have done that here. Yeah. A bit more. Again, I haven't listened to The Gift, fair. So I don't know. I don't know if she's done that on any other stuff on the album. I've listened to the regular soundtrack, so, but I will, the last part of that little topic that I want to get to. Now, when Beyonce was first cast in the movie, I said this to him, and I said this to all of my Beyonce fan friends. I said, she's going to get her way where she makes a song for the movie and has to have it included.
Of course.
And here's my thing. They took out Shadowlands.
And I'm pissed.
Her
about
performance of Shadowlands to put
I'm
that
pissed.
in there. Okay, whatever. I'll have to accept it.
No.
Because here's my thing.
Unacceptable.
That's
a great song.
I keep making fun of Beyonce for having a deep voice. Shadowlands requires a deep voice to be sung. And she could have bought... I know it's sitting in a vault somewhere. But it's okay. We'll hopefully get that eventually. The Gift Deluxe album. Hopefully. He's like, oh, imagine. Oof. I'm going to get over Beyonce making a track for the movie. Because obviously they wanted in there too if they allowed her to do it. Otherwise they would have made her walk.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce's personal tracks going into movies never have a proper space to fit in.
They used Spirit so bad.
They used Spirit so, and here's the thing.
I hated that so much.
Listen was awkward.
Yes.
Listen was awkward only because they did too much leading up to it in terms of what's the song? That's a dream. That's a dream.
You're my dream.
You're my dream. Yeah. They did too much with the Curtis. I want to have your baby.
Yeah.
And then you have it. Jamie Foxx come in here. Oh, hi, Dina's mom. Better get you listen to the two of us. And then she just walks to a piano and just listen. Not to mention, again, no shade to Beyonce. That song does not fit that era anywhere.
Yeah.
That should have been a song that's just on the soundtrack and that's it.
Yeah.
Or in the end credits.
Yeah.
Spirit?
That would have been perfect for the end credits.
Only. Bro.
I'm telling you, when I seen the movie, and I said this on my Instagram, if you have anybody that has my Instagram that actually watched my story, you would know I was like, my really biggest disappointment was how they use Spirit. I love the song. I think it's a great song, but where they chopped it up and the best climactic parts and whatever, and the riffs and everything that I was looking for,
they chopped
wasn't
it up.
there.
And here's my thing. I don't know if this is on her, on the regular team, or on both parties. Why wouldn't you just... Because you know what the thing is? When I think Spirit, even just hearing the name Spirit, I would have thought playing it in the scene where he's talking to Mufasa's ghost.
Yeah. Oh.
Why, even if you didn't want to use the regular track,
Come on.
y'all act like you don't make orchestrated versions of those tracks to fit the moments anyway. Why didn't we do that? I don't want to say it's Beyonce's fault, but it's been 2 movies with 2 different directors, and they both seem to put them at the worst possible moments.
I don't know whose fault it was, but
they gotta stop.
You have to stop.
The next
was not
the
it.
next time. Listen, B, no shade. Come find me.
Come over here. We'll tell you exactly.
We'll make a film for you, and we'll have your soundtrack boofing in a good way.
Now, speaking of her soundtrack, because there was a lot of he hasn't listened to it completely yet. So I have a million times, literally.
Yes,
but there's a lot of songs on there, and this is a separate album from the movie. I have to reiterate that because people are like, oh my god, blah blah blah. Because the people who aren't Beyonce fans are like, how did she do this? Blah blah blah. It's her album that she produced and curated, but it's based off of the story of the Lion King because she's the character, one of the main characters in it.
Nala, yep.
And Disney gave her the rights to use that, so it's totally fine. There were certain songs in there that I thought would have been perfect
to put in there,
to put in the movie,
orchestrated.
Like when he was running from after Nala had just told him you need to get back there and finally convinced him and everything. The song "My Power" would have been perfect.
That would Just from the
They'll
name.
never take my power. My power. Oh! While he's running there back to.
Just from the name alone.
I mean, they could have done.
They could have done a lot.
The soundtrack itself, listening to it is fine, but accompanied with the movie.
No, it's very awkward.
They just had a couple things that they definitely could have done better.
It's very awkward, and you know what's funny? The startings and endings of each of the actual choreographed musical numbers were so out of place. They kind of just like happened, you know?
Yeah, like just a cutscene.
Literally. This is like,
thing.
how can you get rid of the dodo? I don't know. Let's talk about marriage. Talks about marriage. I'm gonna be. I was like,
yeah. It wasn't a lot of like build per se.
You know,
but, like in like the quiet background music, like coming up a little bit. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
But I mean, hey, listen. That's personally how I feel. So
I wish you would have listened to the guests so that we could really talk about it.
I will. We'll do. No. Well, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
do a separate thing.
We'll do a separate thing. So final score. What do you give Lion King 2019?
I give Lion King 2019 a 7.5.
Oh wow. Okay. That's actually a lot closer to my score than I thought you were gonna give it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a
very realistic. I'm subjective in the fact that it's Beyonce because I love her, but I said,
that's right.
I know where her strengths are and where they aren't, but I'm judging the Lion King as a whole and not just Beyonce.
Okay, so. that's perfectly fair. I like that. That's a good way to leave it off. People keep telling me this is harsh, but they have to understand. I've been standing this film since 2016. Yeah. So if I want to give it a harsh rating, I'm going to, but I'm not. The movie was not terrible, but it wasn't the best it can be. And because of that, I'm going to give it a solid 5 out of 10. It lies in the middle for me.
Ooh, okay.
It's a film.
Okay.
It's a film.
It's a film that.
It's a film. It wasn't terrible by any means. It just, for Disney, they kind of dropped the ball a tiny bit for me.
Maybe it's also maybe I feel like they're just releasing so much content that they're not really looking at one thing. That's and they like, you know?
That's a fact. And trust me, I see what you're doing because y'all are trying to build back up to Snow White. So Lion King took an L. So A, I'm expecting Mulan to break records. And B, I'm expecting Snow White to Snow White has to become the highest grossing movie of all time.
I don't know if Mulan is going to do it.
It's so different that I feel like it could. But I feel like that's also exactly why it might not. Because people are already trying to cancel it.
Homecoming?
No.
Brenda Song, where you at?
Chill. I feel like, because people are talking about, I'm going to cancel the movie because...
People are just trying to cancel everything. Like, calm down.
What's it called?
Let me tell you.
Shang's not going to be in it. But here's the thing. Their biggest thing of him not being in it, Make a Man Out of You's not going to be in it. But I'm just sitting here like, I get it. That's one of the best songs that Disney ever made. Here's the problem. It's 2019. You really think Make a Man Out of You is going to go over everyone's heads? It's not. They have to take that L. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to Mulan. I'm looking forward to Maleficent 2. And I can't wait to see what's their next big, either Renaissance era or Disney princess that they bring back to the big screen. If they do another Renaissance era, I'm not gonna hold you. In this day and age, I'm really hoping for a Hunchback of Notre Dame remake.
I love that because it's gritty.
It's so dark and gritty.
It's gritty. I love that.
I'm here for it. What about you? What will be your favorite choice to come out within the next 2 years?
Honestly, now that you said that, that's a good one.
Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because that's one that I do really like, and because it's great. Like, I like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of their really darkest stories.
It is dark.
They should definitely continue on that trend. So,
but regardless of what we said and our opinions, it really doesn't matter.
Go see the movie.
Go see the movie. Have your own opinions.
Mm-hmm. And please don't get hung up on what this movie is to the original.
And Disney is wrecking.
They're wrecking everything. They're wrecking everything, bro. They're wrecking everything
this year, because I know Disney be watching these reviews. I know
they do. They want to.
They definitely.
So yeah, definitely love Lion King. Keep doing what you're doing. You
Send
can't
some
lose.
Season passes our way.
Facts. We trying to vacation.
Or take us to like the premieres.
That's we're gonna be putting stuff out there. We're gonna be putting stuff out there.
Here for that.
We're gonna be trying to work with y'all soon. So just
here for that.
So thank you guys for watching. in the comment section below. Please comment what your favorite and or worst parts of Lion King were, and also comment what you would like to see Disney remake next. And also let us know what you'd like to see us comment on or review next.
Yeah.
So until next time, it's been the Light Skin and
Jahari White, you already know. And until next time.
I'm letting you. Oh, I'm about to let them catch it, but it's all good.